NISC Colorado Field at the Triple Crown Sports Facility for the 5th annual postseason NISC. This year's tournament features 8 NCAA Division I teams making the trip to Fort Collins, looking to end the 2023 season strong and build momentum for the 2024 campaign. Today's matchup features the South Dakota State Jackrabbits versus the Iowa Hawkeyes. Let's meet today's starting lineups, beginning first with the designated visiting team, the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. Leading off, second baseman number 10, Mia Jarecki. Third baseman number 1, Allison Yoder. Shortstop number 27, Roslyn Carrillo. Center fielder number 8, Jocelyn Carrillo. Left fielder number 20, Lindsay Culver. Right fielder number 12, Emma Osmundson. The designated player number 26, Alexa Williams. First baseman number 30, Cheyenne Masterson. Catching number 9, Brooke Dumont. And pitching today number 33, Shannon Casey. South Dakota led by head coach Christina McSweeney. And now the starting lineup for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Leading off in right field, number 14, Nia Carter. Center fielder number 9, Tatiana Roman. Shortstop number 1, Tori Bennett. The designated player number 5, Denali Lecker. Second baseman number 23, Grace Barnes. First baseman number 7, Sammy Diaz. Left fielder number 22, Riley Klosterman. Third baseman number 28, Avery Jackson. Catching today, number 13, Stylina Pogue. And pitching today, number 12, Jolyn Adams. Let's play softball. Leading off for the Jackrabbits, second baseman number 10, Mia Jarecki.
Welcome back to Game 2 of Day 2 of the National Invitational Softball Championship, presented by Triple Crown Sports here in Fort Collins, Colorado. Today it's the winner's bracket, as we have the Iowa Hawkeyes playing as the home squad here today, and they take on the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. Hi everybody, Matthew Wozniak, pleased to be with you this afternoon. Cloudy skies here in Fort Collins if you're just joining us, and there's a pop-up shallow center field. Coming in and making the grab is the center fielder Roman. Let's get you those starters here first for South Dakota State, 38-17. They were 17-0 in the regular season in the Summit League. A disappointing tournament finish for them, saw them drop 1 to South Dakota as well as Omaha, which is why they find themselves enjoying the National Invitational Softball Championship rather than getting the automatic bid out of the Summit League to play in the NCAA tournament. Let's get you those starters. You just saw a pop out from the second baseman, Mia Jarecki. And in batting number 2 right now, the third baseman, Allison Yoder. Yoder down in the count 0-1. Batting third, the shortstop Rosalind Carrillo. In fourth, the center fielder Jocelyn Carrillo. Carrillo batting 3 and 4. Fifth spots is the left fielder Lindsay Culver. Sixth in right field, Emma Osmondson. Seventh, designated player Alexa Williams. Batting eighth at first is Cheyenne Masterson, and ninth, the catcher Brooke Dumont. Fouled away, 1-2. In the circle for the Iowa Hawkeyes, Jalen Adams, right-hander, 1.9 ERA, 8-13 for the freshman on the season. 56 Ks, 39 walks in 143 innings pitched. So obviously both of these teams, there's a little off-speed, chopped fouled on the left side. Valiant effort at third base by Jackson. But both of these teams got to this point by earning victories yesterday. It was Iowa 6-3 over UC Davis, and South Dakota State over Tarleton State 11-5. Our first matchup here on the network. Tarleton State knocking off UC Davis 10-4. 8 runs in the final 2 innings for the Texans. Propels them ahead, so they will play later on today. That game will be at 3 p.m. local time. And they will take on whoever falters in this matchup, as a leadoff home run finds its way into right field, so a brief stoppage of play from Horsetooth Field, which is just to our east. And in that contest right now, Maryland and BYU are confronting one another. We'll keep you up to date on those scores as well. Again, chopped to the third base side. So again, an impressive regular season for the Jackrabbits. I mentioned 17-0 in the Summit League. Talent up and down the roster. We'll highlight that as the afternoon progresses. That's fisted to second base. Caught just at the edge by Baines. So 2 up, 2 down for the freshman Adams in the circle for the Hawkeyes.
Now batting shortstop number 27, Rosalind Carrillo.
Now bring up Rosalind Carrillo, 291. Started every single game for the Jackrabbits. In fact, you're going to find that a vast majority of this group very leaned upon. How about we say it that way? 5 players have appeared and started in every single game for the Jackrabbits this season. Running inside a little bit from Adams. 2-0. Carrillo with 21 walks on the season. And again, hitting .291. Right down the middle. Slap to short. Over to first. Quick 1-2-3 for the Hawkeyes here in the top of the first. Iowa comes to bat in the bottom of the first. Scoreless. This is the National Invitational Softball Championship, presented by Triple Crown Sports.
Leading off for the Hawkeyes, right fielder number 14, Nia Carter.
Bottom of one here. South Dakota State versus the Iowa Hawkeyes. Let's get you the starters. For the Hawkeyes, leading off, Nia Carter, right fielder. Batting second in center field, Tatiana Roman. Batting third, the shortstop, Tori Bennett. Bennett at short. Clean up the designated player, Denali Locker. That one's outside, 2-0. So Locker. Batting fifth, the second baseman, Devin Greer. In sixth, first baseman, Sammy Diaz. Seventh, left fielder, Briley Klosterman. Eighth, at third base, Avery Jackson. 3-0. And rounding out the starting nine, Skyland Pogue, the catcher. In the circle for the Jackrabbits, 5'11" junior Shannon Lacey. Lacey with a 3.13 ERA. Looking at a 3-0. And 4 straight pitches, get a first walk. That's the 68th walk in the season for Lacey. Outside of 115 Ks. She is 15-6 in 134 innings pitched. So the lefty Nia Carter immediately draws the opening walk. 20th of the season for her. Still cannot find the measure. A little frustration in the body language of Lacey from the Jackrabbits. Calling balls and strikes today, Stacy Polson behind the dish. Down the third baseline, umpire Mark Maciel, and down first base is Aaron Golden. Lacey gets the first call. So 1-1 to even up the count. Roman hitting .298, has appeared in all 59, started all 59 for the Hawkeyes this season. So Roman looks at ball 2. 2-1 now. Jackson. Excuse me, Carter, the runner at first. 8 of 12 stolen base attempts this season. Looks content. Swinging through it was Roman. Two and two, nobody down, just underway here. Game 2 of a packed schedule here. And a snap throw just got in underneath. So Lacey, after a frustrating beginning, walks her first batter on 4 pitches. Comes back and K's the center fielder, Roman. Going to bring up the shortstop, Bennett. 321 on the season, also having started and played in all 59 contests for the Hawkeyes this season. Iowa 32-27 on the year, 10-13 in the Big Ten. Interestingly enough, during the Big Ten tournament, they won their opening matchup against a Maryland Terrapin squad who was also participating in the NISC. That slapped to short, little dribbler, 2-hop, 1 off-balance throw, gets her at first base. Not a whole lot of time for the shortstop Carrillo, but made the off-balance throw on target. A little bit of a stretch from Masterson at first. Carter advances to second. But finishing that thought, Maryland here playing the NISC. Iowa defeated the Terrapins in the first round of the Big Ten tournament before they would eventually fall to regular season champion Northwestern. 3-1 the final there. As to how both of these teams emerged here, 6-3 was the victory for Iowa over UC Davis. The Aggies falling in the consolation bracket for their second loss, so they've been eliminated from the tournaments earlier this morning. Lacey again over the head and going to get the wave around. and juggled in center field. No play at the plate, so Iowa immediately emerges. Bennett, the RBI single. Carter comes around to score.
Second baseman number 23, Grace Baines.
Correction, that was Locker with the RBI. Got to make sure that you get that number right. So Locker with the RBI single. 1-0 Hawkeyes, 2 down. Grace Baines, cleanup hitter, 5'7" junior, Kansas City, Kansas. Steps in for her first approach. Catches the outside corner, 2-1. Baines hitting .264, 3 home runs, slugging percentage of .393. That is laced into the gap in right. That's going to get all the way through and back to the fence. Making the turn and scoring from first, and a stand-up double. 2-0 for the Hawkeyes to begin this one. Locker, designated player, racing around from first base. RBI single for her and a run scored.
First baseman number 7.
And Baines drives in the second run of the Hawkeyes here in the bottom of the first. Again, everything happening with 2 outs. First baseman Sammy Diaz steps in, looks at a first pitch strike. Diaz, 250. Again, started and appeared in every single game. And another base hit between second and short. Getting the run around, going to have a play at the plate, just a bit tardy. And advancing to second is Diaz. Took that wide turn, wanted to make sure it went all the way through, was not cut off. And just like that, Iowa has exploded for 3 bottom of the first inning runs. Baines scoring in the middle of Iowa's lineup, doing a lot of damage. Riley Clusterman, the left fielder. Shaky start for Lacey. Finally gets ahead of a batter. 0-1. Fouled away down the left side. Now, Lacey did not appear in the contest yesterday, as Tori Niche ran a 7-inning complete game. 4 earned runs, but she had 12 Ks. Did the 23-game winner for the Jackrabbits. Threw 135 pitches, so her availability for a couple of innings is probably there, but they would certainly not like to go to that this early. Down low, 1-2. Lacey's 20th pitch of the frame upcoming. Diaz waiting at second. Just misses the outside corner. 2-2. Sun starting to peek out here in Fort Collins. After a cold first game. It's going to continue to warm up. Down low, 3-2. 60 degrees currently, under mostly cloudy skies. No breeze to speak of. Flag's relatively limp in left field by the scoreboard. Maybe about a 4 or 5 mile an hour breeze coming in from right field. Shouldn't affect anything. That's chopped back to the pitcher. He will underhand it to first, and the inning will end. Not before Iowa strings together a handful of hits, scoring 3 runs, and they have the advantage after 1 inning of play. Jackrabbits up next, trailing 3-0. Second inning action next from the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports.
Leading off center fielder number 8, Jocelyn Carrillo.
Top of the second for the Jackrabbits, and Jocelyn Carrillo slaps one foul down the third base line. Carrillo hitting .301, .526 slugging percentage, tied for team high with 7 home runs. That one's up in the zone. Checks the swing. Fouled away. Jocelyn, the older sibling of the Carrillo sisters. And with Jocelyn in center field, Rosalind in short, so middle infield, 2/3. A family affair. Turning on that one. Might have room. She chases and hustles after it. Runs out of space. A long foul. Still 3-2. That's Carrillo. Continue to battle. Carrillo had one skip past her in the bottom of the first to get back to the wall. And that one just a little bit too much. Held on to it too long. Did Adams, and a leadoff walk.
Left fielder number 20, Lindsay Culver.
Lindsay Culver, the 5'9" junior from Cedar Rapids. Again, just holding on to a bit too much. The off-speed not really finding the measure just yet for Adams. He's leaving it an awful lot up in the zone. Kind of over-torquing it a little bit. And again, that one gets past the catcher. Going to have no play at second, so Carrillo scampers to the added base. Just having a tough time controlling the upper half of the zone is Adams. 2-0 now. Culver hitting .272, and that one runs inside. Pulls it foul. Also with 7 home runs on the season. As a matter of fact, 3 players. Balanced, explosive offense. Mia Jarecki, Jocelyn Carrillo. That one again is high again, so make it 3-1. And Lindsay Culver each with 7. Rosalind Carrillo with 6. I'm sure that disparity in home runs isn't discussed at all at the Carrillo family reunions. Culver taps one foul. 3-2. Runner on second, nobody out. And the high cheese gets her. That one rode in over the shoulder. So going chasing a little bit that time was Culver for the first out of the inning.
Now batting right fielder number 12, Emma Osmundson.
So Osmundson, Sioux Falls native, steps in for her first look. .310 on the season. Slugging percentage of .404. Watches that one run in. Ball 1. And watches it run inside to the lefty. 2-0. And some of the same problems that I'd been noting a moment ago, now noted by the Brain Trust at Iowa. I'm going to take an early moment to stop and talk this one over. See if she's laboring a little bit, trying to over pitch, which is why she's missing high up in the zone. Get some words of advice from the pitching coach. Fans, make your way to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and see how real Southern hospitality works to make your business trip or family vacation a perfect stay. The beaches are forever inviting, and with entertainment options at every turn, you know the good times will fill every minute of the day. Get the full picture of Myrtle Beach at discoversouthcarolina.com. So Adams with 25 pitches on the afternoon thus far. 14 for strikes, getting an extended conversation. As the home plate up, Stacy Poole breaks up the meeting. Catcher Pogue jogs back to her spot behind the dish. And facing a 2-0 count with 1 down, Adams will try to reset. There she finds the top of the zone. 2-1. More than anything else, words of advice, maybe don't be afraid of it. Can't paint yourself into a corner and just stick with the middle to lower half. Got to use it and got to find it. That one's squibbed just foul down the third base line. 2-2. Osmundson slaps it to second. Diving stop. And the runner holds. Hung up just long enough for Baines to circle underneath it. Probably unfair to say she took a circular route, but wasn't quite sure how hard that was hit. So she did have to take one step back towards the grass, but then broke hard and made the diving stop. Lexa Williams, 5'10" junior from Lincoln, Nebraska, number 7 in the order, steps into her position. Adams scuffling a little bit, but just one runner on second, and that was a gorgeous off speed. Williams expecting some heat, just froze her. And now runs one high and in. 2-1. Williams hitting .288 in 80 at bats. That one is chopped high, and it's going to fall and hit, and that's going to be a base knock. Hit it where they ain't. Really sawed her off at the knuckles. Adams couldn't quite break to it. Pogue couldn't get there.
Now batting first baseman number 30, Cheyenne Masterson.
And now runners at the corners, first and third. But Williams fought that one off well, and Adams continues to run pitches high and in on lefties. Cheyenne Masterson steps in, fouls the first offering away. Masterson at first base today. Hitting just .178, however. But a golden opportunity with runner as at first and third to pick up her 10th RBI of the season. Looks at one high. A little bit of an extended stare from Adams. Neither pitcher real happy with the zone just yet. Feels like both of them are getting squeezed. Inside, cannot get it. Two and one. Adams releases, catches the inside corner, brought it in just a shade, so 2-2. Get the feeling Jackson wants to extend their arms just a little bit. So Adams is going to stay on the inside. That one floated out. Diving play at first base. Fantastic break from Diaz to end the threat. Just tapped off of the end of the bat. Diaz read it all the way, and 2 diving stops by the infield defense for the Hawkeyes ends the top of the second. Bottom of 2 coming up next. It's 3-0 Iowa. This is the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports. Avery Jackson begins the bottom of the second. Third baseman hitting 146. 14 hits and 96 at-bats. And immediately picks up where she left off, just underneath the glove at second for the base knock. Iowa's been very aggressive early in the counts, just not letting Lacey get ahead, establish any rhythm. Jackson swats one underneath the glove of the second baseman, Jarecki.
Yeah, batting the catcher, number 13, Skylina Pogue.
Pogue, the catcher, had one dump in front of her earlier for a cheap single. Well, it wasn't cheap to the Jackrabbit who hit it, but it sure felt that way from a defensive perspective. Skylin Pogue, the freshman. Ball two, throws behind the runner late. Pogue at 175 on the season, 27 games, 26 starts. Freshman getting some postseason seasoning here. Again, Lacey wanted the call, didn't get it, and it's 3-0. Hawkeyes strung together 4 hits. Bottom half of the first, put 3 on the board. Start off with a base knock. And on taking all the way, looks at strike one. 3-1. Jackson with 8 walks and 26 Ks on the season. Sits at first base. Outside, another walk. So Pogue draws her 6th freebie of the season. And that turns the lineup over. Nia Carter, senior out of California. 2 on, nobody out. Pulls back the bunt. Going to try and drag it to third base. Charging hard was Yoder. So the Jackrabbits here expecting a sacrifice from the leadoff, Carter. Oh, Stead watches it low and outside. Well off the plate. So a little bit of pressure building here from Iowa as Lacey tightening up just a bit. Now, 2-0, Carter can be very selective. Does put the bunt down. He's going to hustle her way to first base and will beat it out. Showing off the legs and the speed from Carter. That was just a perfectly executed bunt. Just dropped it right in front of home plate. Didn't provide any outlets for the charging defense from the corners. And now Iowa, with nobody outs, has the bases full. And Tatiana Roman, center fielder, looks at the first offering. Outside. Roman struck out her first time up in the bottom of the first. But the Hawkeyes, 5 hits so far, 2 walks, turning that lineup over quickly. Roman again swings through one. Lacey evens up the count, 1-1. Low and outside, 2-1. Hawkeye's patient level has increased exponentially. They have got very small hitting zones right now. That one runs in to make it 3-1. The struggles continue for Lacey. Nowhere else to put Roman. Important pitch for Lacey right here. 3-1. Down low, walks in a run. Third walk of the game. And that's probably going to do it for Lacey. Very tough outing for her. 4 runs in just 1 inning of work. Didn't want to push it any further, did head coach Christina McSweeney. And replace her with Alexa Williams. Williams pitched 36 innings this season. 3.47 ERA, went 0 for 4. She did only have 2 starts. One of those 2 a complete game. 21 strikeouts and 24 walks for the reliever. I want to remind you the Puerto Vallarta College Challenge welcomes a deep roster of standout Power 5 and mid-major college softball teams over 2 sessions, starting the NCAA season in style at one of Mexico's top tourist spots. Fan packages are available. Learn more at pvcollegechallenge.com. That's pvcollegechallenge.com. So, lots of trouble still. Bases still full. Nobody out. A 4-run deficit. And South Dakota State brings in a reliever. Look for Bennett to jump on anything early. Nope, high not. Now you can afford to be patient. The shortstop, 1-0. 2-0. Pitching just cannot find the zone right now, and the pressure continues to build on the arms of the Jackrabbits. Bennett, the freshman. Looks at one up, strike one. Bennett hitting .321. Slugging .395. And bowling it up there for a friendly 3-1 hitters count with the bases loaded. 1 run in already this inning. Iowa struck for 3 in the bottom of the first. And it's been just everything. 5 hits for Iowa so far, 3 walks. 3-1. Slap to second, off the glove. Might get the force at second. Run will score. So they get the out at second as the line drive eludes Jarecki. But she recovered enough to get the force out and the first out of the inning at second base. Another run in.
Designated player number 5, Denali Lecker.
And it's 5-0. Which brings up Denali Lecker. Already has 1 RBI on the afternoon. It's going to poke it into the hole in short. Underneath the glove, 2 RBI now for Lecker. Again, aggressive early in the count. Turned over the wrists. Just underneath Carrillo.
Second baseman number 23, Grace Baines.
Looks like we'll get a pinch runner. Haley down. Take over at first base. Lecker.
Your attention, please. Now running at first base for Iowa, number 00, Haley down.
That will bring up Grace Baines, the second baseman. Also with a hit and an RBI. And a run scored. So it's 6-0 Iowa. Here in the bottom of the second, still just one away. Slapped to short, goes to second for one, tries to turn it, and they got the double play. Exactly what the Jackrabbits needed. Hard hit ball to short. Carrillo to Jurecki to Masterson to end it. Still, a little bit more damage done by the Hawkeyes. 3 runs in the bottom of the second. Top of the third is next from the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports.
Catcher number 9, Brooke Demont.
Top of third here. Brooke Demont, the catcher, batting 9th. Swings at the first one and gets it right off the shin. So Demont, shake that one off. Again, this 6-0 advantage for the Hawkeyes here allows Adams a little bit more leeway. She was having trouble locating the upper half of the zone. Got a talking to from her coach. Settled down. And now see if she's able to just has the freedom to work on some things without fear of mistakes. Second offering low and in, evening the count at 1-1. Demont hitting .220. Slashes one right to third base, gets in front of it, zips it across. Great pickup, even better throw. That was a hot shot. Picked up by Jackson at third. Flings it across to Diaz for the first out of the top of the third.
Second baseman number 10, Mia Jurecki.
And what I like most about the play from Jackson there at third, she just didn't flinch. She had her body completely squared to the ball. So even if it didn't quite come into her glove cleanly, it was going to pop off of his shoulder right in front of her. And with the arm that she just showed off, it's going to have a pretty good shot of getting the catcher, not the most fleetest of foot, running down to first base. Just a fundamentally perfect execution by Jackson at third for the Hawkeyes. Turning the order around now is Jurecki. A line drive off her glove. In defense in the bottom of the second. 0 for 1 on the afternoon thus far. Popped out earlier. Start the game. Jurecki slashes it. Another hot shot, but this one right into the glove of Baines at second. So Jurecki, 2 at-bats, seen 4 pitches. Yoder, the third baseman. .250 on the season. Low and in, scraping the shoe tops. So not only has Iowa jumped out to a 6-0 lead here, BYU has matched that on the field just to our east at Horsetooth Field, leading 6-0. Tapped back to the pitcher. Can she corral in time? She cannot. Hot shot off the glove, just eluded her. Again, reaching across her body with the glove to the right side. Knocked it down, but just couldn't find it in time.
Number 27, Roslyn Carrillo.
Probably going to call that one a hit for the second hit of the day for the Jackrabbits. But anyway, recapping that, BYU currently leading Maryland 6-0 as they enter the bottom of the second. We have an identical 6-0 score here in the top of the third. Turning on one was Carrillo, fouled on the left side. Catches the inside corner, bottom third, perfectly placed. So we've seen in the first approach to Rosalind Carrillo, trying to run one in on her hands a little bit. We saw them do the same thing here where she turned. That one was well outside. Tried to overpower and overthrow it a bit. And also maybe looking for a chase as well on 0-2. Make the count 1-2. Little off speed, tap to third. Flung across, high throw, didn't matter. And again, another put out, started the inning, and it ended it. Jackson to Diaz. No runs, one hit. 6-0 Iowa through 2.5. Hawkeyes back to bat when we return to the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports.
Number 7, Sammy Diaz.
Diaz to lead off the bottom of the third for the Hawkeyes. Sixth in the lineup. 1 for 1 already with an RBI. It was that middle part of the order that really went to town, being aggressive against the starter Lacey. Lacey lasts just 1 inning. Now Williams trying to eat up some innings and hope that the Jackrabbits bats can come alive. But Adams hasn't exactly been overpowering, but there hasn't been a whole lot of solid contact either. And what solid contact there has been directed directly toward the Iowa defense. So Williams falling behind 2-1 here. Takes something off of it, leaves it up high. 3-1. 3 walks already by the pitching core of South Dakota State, and Iowa's been cashing those in. Catches the outside corner. Williams offers, and Diaz fouls it away. Staying alive. Again, Williams limited action, just 36 innings pitched. Remember, both of these teams in a double elimination tournament will still have another contest, and caught looking. And a little off speed. Right down the middle, I think Diaz was looking for something on the outside corner. Frozer for the K. First strikeout of the afternoon for the Jackrabbit pitchers, and it goes in the back pocket of Alexa Williams. One away for Klosterman. Foul back. Klosterman 0 for 1. Yesterday had a very good day in the victory over UC Davis, 2 for 2. A couple of runs scored, including a walk. Klosterman in the left field got the job done, setting a bit of the table. Catching the outside corner now. Zone appears to be opening up just a bit. One and two. Tries to get her to chase, will not. Discipline at the plate, 2 and 2. Still one away on a strikeout to begin the inning. But Iowa in control, 6-0. 3 in the bottom of the first, 3 in the bottom of the second. Klosterman pops it into left field. Chasing after it is Carrillo. Makes the grab. Carrillo in short left. Showing off the range. Calling off Culver for the play. So Avery Jackson, flawless with the glove at third thus far. Drew a 4-pitch walk. Correction, solid base hit. My mistake. Reading my own notes incorrectly here. But it was Jackson getting on base that started all the pressure. There she laces another one, but right to the shortstop, Carrillo. So a busy defensive half inning for Carrillo at short. No runs for the Hawkeyes. Top of the fourth coming up next. Jackrabbits need to get the bats going. They trail 6-0. Back with more to the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports.
College sports evaluations.
Center fielder Jocelyn Carrillo starts off the top of the fourth. Second time through the order. Second look at starter Adams. And looks at the first one. Drop ball. Tapped away. Carrillo drew a walk first time up. And that one is stroked into the gap in left center. That's going to go all the way back to the wall. Bounces it off. Carrillo, stand-up double as Iowa brings it back in. Carrillo's 10th double of the season.
Now batting left fielder number 20, Lindsey Culver.
That may just be the spark that'll awaken these Jackrabbit bats. Left fielder Lindsey Culver now. Not going to see any sacrifices at this point. You need some strong numbers. High, skying into left field. Will not carry as Klosterman settles underneath it. First pitch fly out to left.
Right fielder number 12, Emma Osmundson.
Osmundson. The lefty steps in against Adams. Catches the outside corner. So now, that 6-0 lead, you can be a little more aggressive, pound the zone, get ahead of some of the hitters. Osmundson does not chase the off speed. Osmundson has been an anchor in right field for South Dakota State his last 2 seasons. I said she's started and appeared in all 55 games in right field, and last season was out there for 52 of 53, hitting .290. She has been one of those stalwart Jackrabbits, those anchors that leading the way to success. Missed outside, 3-1. Three and one. Inside. So for the first time in this contest, Adams' turn to start feeling the pressure. Just one away. Bringing up Alexa Williams, who's already 1 for 1. See how aggressive she wants to be early in the count here. Williams with 6 home runs on the season. And she does go after the first one. Fouls it away. Bounces off the top of the Hawkeye dugout roof. See if Adams continues to change speeds. That was just the high cheese that time. And Williams swung through it. Just got a little piece of it. 0-2. 1 on. And 2 on base for the Jackrabbits. Adams steals and fires. Tries to get her up in the zone. Will not chase. 1-2. And does chase that time. Went out of her comfort zone, went up in the zone with the swing, and a timely punch out from Adams. 2 down.
30, Cheyenne Masterson.
So Masterson now left 2 on. Before now has 2 more opportunities. Runners at first and second. Down and in. Ball 1. Adams taking her time. Chop to third. Has the force. Just gloves cleanly does Jackson and steps on the bag to end the inning. Jackrabbits threaten. Can't move past second base, however, and remain scoreless. 6-0 Iowa after 3.5. Hawkeyes up to bat when we return. This is the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports. Bottom of the order for the Iowa Hawkeyes in the bottom of the fourth as the catcher Skyland Pogue slashes one into the gap between short and third for the base knock. Again, aggressive early in the count. Pogue has already scored one run after drawing a walk in her first at bat. Now adds to her total with a hit. Clean single in the hole. So Williams lets the leadoff batter come on, and that flips the roster over. And Nia Carter takes one low and in. Carter hitting .475 on the season. Slugging percentage of .544. Not a lot of pop, but boy, does she get on base and hit. And she's got a runner in front of her, the catcher Pogue. 2-0. Only 8 strikeouts in 204 at bats for Carter. Can't be hitting over 400 unless you got a tremendous batter's eye. She looks at another off speed. Williams now down 3-0 to Carter. Looks at it high. Well, again, as I sort of said earlier, in jest, but it plays out there on that fourth pitch. Carter standing at 5'1". Not a whole lot of space at the top of the zone, and 4-pitch walk. Now runners on first and second, nobody out. As Williams is going to have to run through the heart of the Hawkeye order. Roman. Strike one. Oh for 1 is Roman. 1K, but she did get a fielder's choice RBI. Tries to poke one down the line. Comes up empty. 0-2. For the third consecutive time, Roman falling behind in the count. 31 Ks on the season for the number 2 hitter. And make it 32. 3 pitches. Bit of a lackluster approach at the plate.
Shortstop number 1, Tori Peck.
And it results in the first out of the inning for the Hawkeyes. And you want to credit Williams, though. Attacked her. And we'll bring up Bennett. Also a sacrifice for Bennett. 0 for 2 with 1 RBI. Shortstop. Looks at one in the dirt. 2-0. Tori Bennett, the freshman out of Fort Dodge, Iowa. Slaps it to third base. Good pickup. Sliding underneath and got her. Just ran out of real estate over there. Solid play to cut down the lead runner on the tag. Knew she didn't have time to get to the bag. And instead, Yoder put a high tag. Just could not slide in underneath. Was Pogue. 2 down. Still runners at first and second. Speedy Carter at second. Probably will not be putting anyone in motion. It's just not really Iowa's game. But with 2 outs, maybe a little hit and run action perhaps. But with Locker, who's 2 for 2, dialed in, slaps one to third, on her knees, throws all the way across. Plenty of time, perfect throw to end the inning. Busy bottom half for Yoder at third base. That time she connects with Masterson for the final putout. No score for the Hawkeyes in that bottom of the fourth. Still, Iowa in command, leading 6-0. Top of the fifth next on the National Invitational Softball Championship, presented by Triple Crown Sports.
Leading off the catcher, number 9, Brooke DeMont.
Welcome back. Top of the fifth. Jackrabbits looking for some offense, and they begin with a number 9 hitter, Brooke DeMont, the catcher. Off-speed floats in. That just hung in the air and arced through. DeMont was looking for the heat. Instead, she got the off-speed. Froze her. So DeMont 0 for 1 so far. Waits the offering from Adams. Pulls the string again, this time on the outside corner. Well, now what do you do? DeMont needs to take a step back, clear the head. And what's going to happen with that one? Just missed with the third off-speed pitch. So after being unable to really find it in the first inning, and again, that 6-0 advantage has allowed Adams the opportunity to start working on some things. You can throw 3 off-speed in a row. Tries to bring the high heat, misses the zone. Two and two. Here in the top of the fifth. And just blows it right past her. Yeah, that was just excellent pitch selection and just textbook setting up a hitter.
Second baseman number 10, Mia Jarecki.
Third K of the afternoon for Adams. That will bring the top of the order, Mia Jarecki. Jarecki 0 for 2 thus far. Looks at one on the inside. Jarecki again hitting .347, a .557 slugging percentage. Again runs inside. Two and 0 to Jarecki. One away here in the top of the fifth. Again, low and in. Jarecki leading the way with 32 walks on the season for the Jackrabbits. At this point, South Dakota State needs base runners. Taking all the way, 3-1. And earning the walk is Jarecki. So once again, there are Jackrabbits on the bases. But South Dakota State just has not been able to cash him in. And Yoder. Played perfect defense in the bottom of the fourth, sitting at 1-2. Catches the outer third for strike 2. It's now ahead of the count, 0-2. Again, looking at Allison Yoder's numbers here, she's actually played a flawless third base. No errors in 50 games played at the hot corner for Yoder. 45 assists, 256 putouts. That tells you how good she is with the glove. .250 with the stick, and now down 1-2. Can't get it to drop into the zone, just a little too high for Adams. She steps back and regroups. 2-2, 1 out. Iowa in control. Slapped foul. Do it again. Defense for Iowa, playing even with the bags on the corners. And short and second, just straight away. No real tendencies in play here. High, strike 3. Swings right through it. So another K for Adams, 4th.
Shortstop number 27, Roslyn Carrillo.
So Carrillo, the shortstop. Left one on earlier, 0 for 2. It's going to eye Adams. Oh, and just a check swing, comes all the way back to the pitcher. An accidental third out of the inning. Carrillo tried to check her swing, just dribbled it back to Adams, who flips it over to Diaz for the third out. Jackrabbits fall, had a leadoff walk, but couldn't do much with it. 6-0 Iowa. Hawkeyes to bat next on the National Invitational Softball Championship, presented by Triple Crown Sports.
Leading off for the Hawkeyes, second baseman number 23, Grace Baines.
Grace Baines to lead off for the Hawkeyes in the bottom of the 5th. Baines 1 for 2. RBI and a run scored. Part of one of those pairs of 3-run outbursts that the Iowa Hawkeyes have put together to keep the Jackrabbits with or outside of striking distance. 2-0 already. Williams came in relief after the starter Lacey could last but just 1 inning. And Williams did a pretty good job of keeping Iowa off balance. Williams, again, low and away, ends up walking. Baines, I'll bring up the first baseman. Diaz.
First baseman,
Sammy.
7, Sammy Diaz.
Flawless plays at first base thus far. Diaz, the junior. Manning first base this afternoon, but she's a jack of all trades, can play a handful of positions when necessary. 1-0. Slap to second, trying to turn it to second. Goes all the way across, turns the second double play of the afternoon. The infield defense getting it done. 5-6-3 for the Jackrabbits. That's how you eliminate an early walk.
Left fielder number 22, Briley Klosterman.
So even with these double plays being turned deftly by the Jackrabbit defense, still trailing 6-0. It's Klosterman. Junior from North Liberty, Iowa. 0 for 2. Now the winner of this contest will move into the finals bracket. Hot shot eludes the second baseman. Over the glove of Jarecki. First hit for Klosterman.
Third baseman number 28, Avery Jackson.
Avery Jackson will step in with 2 down in the inning. Well, the winner of this will advance to the championship bracket. Single elimination. That will take place tomorrow at noon. Slashed foul to the right side. So either Iowa or South Dakota State will be playing at noon tomorrow here at TC Field. And they will take on the winner of either San Jose or Maryland or BYU. So San Jose State has advanced as they tap to third and get the put out at first. Yoder to Masterson. End of 5. We'll go through more of those tournament scenarios when we return. Still, Hawkeyes in control, leading 6-0. This is the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports.
Leading off,
2023 National Invitational Softball Championship, brought to you by Triple Crown Sports, presented in part by the Sports Bra, Sports Bar and Restaurant. So that one is slashed over the head and in front of the center field. Leadoff single again, this time for the Jackrabbits. Carrillo gets it done. The Sports Bra is women-owned and operated. It has great food, delicious drinks, and an upbeat space that supports, empowers, and promotes girls and women as they impact sports in their community. Check out the Sports Bra, PDX.com for details. That's the SportsBraPDX.com. So again, a Jackrabbit on to lead off an inning here at the top of the 6th. Carrillo, center fielder, gives way to Culver. Ooh, and gets plunked on the hip. So 2 on, nobody out. Culver, the left fielder. That one got away from Adams.
Now batting, right fielder number 12.
Second hit by pitch of the season for Lindsey Culver. And now the Brain Trust for Iowa wants to come back and settle things down for a moment. As Emma Osmundson with 2 on. Hitting .310 on the season, slugging .404. Has a chance to really change the complexion of this one. And now more discussions between the pitching coach and Adams. As Christina McSweeney talks with her infield, trying to tell him what she'd like to see. Now, obviously, just trying to put in motion whether or not are you going to try and turn two. What are you going to do on a fielder's choice? With a 6-0 lead, probably take the easiest out possible, just to make life a little bit easier on your starting pitcher, Adams. Adams with 82 pitches thus far. And now really one of her bigger pressure moments here. Emma Osmundson steps in, looks at strike one. So Adams trying to stay ahead. Ball one, up and in. Still nobody out in the top of the 6th. Jackrabbits looking for some sustained pressure. Edmondson swings through the fastball on the outside corner. 1-2. Poked foul. That's Carrillo. Leadoff single. And a walk to Culver, counting for the 2 Jackrabbits on base. And at 1-2, still plenty of room to be crafty. Instead goes with the high heat. We have seen Adams stay away from the off-speed drop ball against lefties. She used it very effectively against a handful of right-handed batters. See if she has the confidence to pull the trigger. Oh, she did. It slapped to second base, flips to second, and throwing to third. So they get the force out on the fielder's choice. Baines flipping to Bennett, who was covering. That's also part of the strategy that we talked about just a moment ago. That's why the head coach brings everybody in. What are you going to do? If you get a little squibber down to second base, just flip it over, cut down one of the runners. First out of the inning. Third baseman Jackson. Still just playing even with the bag. I thought for a minute she was going to try and charge in with Yoder at the plate. Instead, swinging right through it. So Alexa Williams steps in, swings through the first one, 1-1. Williams looks at one inside. So the designated player Williams also pitching in relief. So double duty for her. Gets underneath one, sky high to right field, carrying back, farther, further, and out of here. Lexi Williams, 3-run shot, trims Iowa's lead in half. Got a hold of one that carried a long way in the thin air. So Williams getting it done in the circle and crushes one to right field. Carter thought for a moment she had some room to get back, spinning, circling, and ultimately all the way over the netting. Lexi Williams' 7th homer of the season. And the first blemish clears the bags. So Adams looking to regroup. Still just one away as Masterson, the first baseman, steps in. And that one is crushed deep to left field. That's carrying all the way through off the wall. And it's going to bang loose for a stand-up double. So the bats are alive for the Jackrabbits. Cheyenne Masterson, the junior, puts a charge in one down the left field line. Didn't quite carry as far as some to the right. Back-to-back well-struck balls has ignited the Jackrabbit offense. Masterson's second double of the season. Came in hitting just 178, but she poked that one. So again, the pressure continues to build on the pitcher Adams, approaching 100 pitches here in the top of the sixth. Still one away. Runner at second. Low and in. Catcher Dumont. So again, all this damage happening in the lower third of the lineup for South Dakota State. Dumont looks at one on the inside corner, strike one. One and one away. Masterson awaits at second. Adams getting some signs from the dugout. Inside hands, fouled away. So Dumont behind in the count 1-2. Looks at one outside, 2-2. Off speed, just a bit low. Three and two, full count to Dumont with one away. Swings through it as Adams gets the K.
Second baseman number 10, Mia Jarecki.
Needed that one. Still a threat at second base. As Jarecki, top of the order, very dangerous. Laces one to center field. Coming in, now backing up and tracking it down was Roman. Took a few steps in. It did not carry over her head, but nevertheless, a three-run home run by Williams trims the deficit in half. 6-3 Iowa, bottom of the sixth. Hawkeyes at the bat next. This is the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports. Skyland Pogue to open up the bottom half of the 6th inning. The catcher. What a good afternoon. 1 walk, 1 hit in her 2 at-bats. Tap to second base. Easy play, Jarecki to Masterson, 1 down. And the top of the order, Nia Carter. So again, winner of this will advance to the finals bracket. That game will take place tomorrow at high noon, and then it will confront the winner of either Maryland, BYU, and San Jose State. San Jose State is at a chop to short all the way across, 2 up, 2 quickly down. So finishing that, San Jose State, by virtue of their victory this morning over CSUN, has advanced. And whoever falters in the Maryland versus BYU game, which is currently in progress, will then play this afternoon at 3 p.m. So whoever should win that one, BYU or San Jose State. Right now it's looking like BYU is going to defeat Maryland. They're leading 6-2. Another chopper to the pitcher. Quick. Top of the 6th. Well, didn't even give the Jackrabbit Bats a chance to cool off. Hopefully they can stay hot as they trail by 3. Last chance at the top of the 7th. We'll be back for that in just a moment. This is the National Invitational Softball Championship presented by Triple Crown Sports.
Jackrabbits, third baseman number 1, Allison Yoder.
Top of the 7th, Jackrabbits looking to overcome a 3-run deficit here as Allison Yoder, the number 2 hitter, third baseman, leads off. Looks at an early strike. The Colorado 4th of July Youth Fast Pitch event takes over the state in 2023 from Fort Collins to Colorado Springs, with more than 1,000 teams taking part in the largest softball tournament in the world. Festival nights, superior competition, college camps, and clinics, dedicated recruiting moments, and much more. Check it out at cosparkfire.com. That's COSPARK fire.com. As Yoder tries to bunt her way on, it comes right back to the pitcher Adams for the easy play at first. Now Carrillo steps in. Adams, Carrillo crushes one into the gap, chasing after it off the wall. Carrillo with the double.
Center fielder number 8,
Jocelyn gets it done. So Rosalind Carrillo waiting at second base. Jocelyn Carrillo is now going to get a pitching change for Iowa. So the afternoon ends for Adams. And in relief, Denali Locker. So the designated player takes over. Both teams have made that maneuver here this afternoon as Williams stepped into the circle. And now Locker steps in to throw as well. 68 innings pitched on the season for her, 2.85 ERA. 3-2 is her record. Appeared 28 times. 27 walks and 47 strikeouts. So Locker retains her position in the batting order, hitting 4th. So should we go to the bottom of the 7th, she will well be seen. But the Jackrabbits are down to their final 2 outs. However, they do have a runner at second in Carrillo, with her sister, Jocelyn Carrillo, ready to engage Locker. So after the pitching change, Carrillo awaits. High, ball 1. Carrillo into the glove of third base. Oh, the hot corner remains hot, doesn't it? Fantastic play again by Avery Jackson. She has been spectacular defensively. And Iowa now just 1 out away from advancing. Not only has Jackson been great flashing the leather, 1 for 3 with a run scored. Locker leaves it low. 2 away. Fouled at the plate by Culver. Culver's 0 for 2 with a K. Locker now 1-1. So should should South Dakota State falter, they will drop into the consolation bracket where they will take on Tarleton State. That contest will happen at 3 p.m. Mountain. So South Dakota State's got 1 more on the docket here today. If Iowa can hold on, they can kick their feet up and move to the finals bracket beginning tomorrow. 2-1. Culver. Still, Carrillo remains at second. Well short, so 3-1. So Locker doesn't want to issue a walk here and bring the tying run up to bat. Outside, coaxing the walk is Culver.
Right fielder, number 12, Emma Osmondson.
So Osmondson, the lefty right fielder, steps in, 2 on, tying run at the plate for South Dakota State. Right down the middle from Locker, fastball. Don't get the feeling that Locker's going to be too crafty here. Osmondson with 2 home runs on the season. Swings through a drop ball. Now it's 0-2. Down to their final strike are the Jackrabbits. Osmondson, however, does have some power to the gaps. So she is more than capable of keeping this train moving forward. And swings through another drop ball, and that will end it. Boy, Locker, very impressive with the off speed after setting her up with the fastballs. So that will do it. Iowa has advanced. They remain unblemished in their NISC campaign. So they have moved to the finals bracket where they will play at noon tomorrow. Opponent yet to be determined. South Dakota State, on the other hand, will drop down to play Tarleton State in the consolation bracket. That will be at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. So a very quick one here. 1 hour and 40 minutes was your game time. And Iowa moves forward. The Jackrabbits get a little bit extra time to compose themselves. Well, that will do it for the broadcast. For everyone at Triple Crown Sports, Dave King, Craig Buchanan, the entire team, we thank you for all their hard work here today. Producer Johnny Houston and his team as well, a fantastic job. Well, play-by-play announcer Matthew Wozniak, I'm going to give way to Thomas Hoffman. He will be your guide for the 3 o'clock game here on day 2 of the National Invitational Softball Championship. It's been my pleasure being with you this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed the broadcast and certainly expect to have you back here at 3 p.m. Your final score, Iowa 6, South Dakota State 3. More to come at 3 p.m. from the National Invitational Softball Championship. Thanks, everybody. Have a great afternoon. We'll talk to you at 3 o'clock.